Welcome back to the SCIF. I am Matt. The dude with the hat is Stu. We're bringing another show to you tonight. We're gonna talk about several things. Obviously, this is the Green Beret Life. We are 501c3. Basically, our goal is to try to get veterans, first responders, and their families into the outdoors, whatever that may be. It could be shooting, it could be anything. So what we do is we train people, pistol, rifle, shotgun. If you're interested in training, hit us up at the email. Stu will post that email at the bottom throughout the night. If this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. We are broadcasting on 3 platforms. We're broadcasting on YouTube, Rumble, and Odysee. In the last few weeks, we've been pushing our luck with YouTube. So we've been pretty much
that is true.
on. We'll make that decision. We may, you know, stick and move as far as that's concerned. And
got to keep them guessing.
That's exactly right. So we may switch over to Rumble and Odysee primary, but we'll see how it goes. What's on the docket tonight, Stu?
We've got several stories. We've got Trump has fired the Federal Reserve governor. I guess is what they're. I didn't realize there was a Federal Reserve governor, but basically a member of the. What's that?
With that shit show over there. Who knows what that shit show over there, dude?
But he's fired this lady due to allegations of mortgage fraud, which apparently seems to be the new Democrat crime of choice, with this lady, SCIF being involved in it. That was what Letitia James was involved in.
But still not new. Don't you remember the whole deal with going back to the Clintons and even Obama with that Anthony Oresco issue? That nothing ever came of it in Chicago.
Yeah.
So real estate shenanigans, I should say, allegedly.
We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're actually going to. I don't even remember. Did we talk about the SCIF last week? But
we talked. Yes, we did talk about SCIF a little bit last week.
We're going to bring up a couple more.
SCIF for brains.
We're going to bring up a couple more details that have come to light that will put a little more context on everything, and just it'll really drive home the point of how they really do not care to lie to your face and then just be amazed when you don't believe them. We'll talk about that, and I'll give you guys the facts of the matter, and you determine whether he's being forthright and legit or whether he's, well,
I can tell you right
nonsense.
Now, in my opinion, no. He's never being forthright and legit.
Well, that goes without saying. I guess we have to put it. We'll do the blind study. Okay, if it weren't SCIF, if Congressperson Y, this was this, would you say they were being straightforward or lying? We'll take SCIF out of it and just use a generic nobody just for giggles.
Probably yes, they're lying.
You're probably right too. They're a politician. Hey, they're probably lying.
Check this out. I didn't show you this already. Hold on. I'm going to show everybody this. Can you see that?
Oh, that's nice. Is that an air freshener?
No, but it's just a pin, and his hair blows in the vent. It's badass.
That's awesome. So we've got that story we're gonna talk about. We've got the where Trump has brought in some of the National Guard into D.C., and amazingly, D.C. has had a crime-free wave for the past 12 days.
You've got left-wing judges releasing criminals. We'll get into that later on, but yeah.
But this is 12 days. I think the longest D.C. has gone without a murder has been 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And from the day Trump brought the National Guard in, it was 12 days.
Stu, I think there's ulterior motives too. I think they're there for more than one reason, to be honest with you, the National Guard. So
we'll see what happens.
We can talk about some of my theories. Yeah.
But Trump's definitely looking at expanding this to other cities, and the Democrats are losing their mind. So that's always fun.
Mm-hmm. Nobody cares. Nobody cares when they lose their mind and have basically a shit hemorrhage on TV.
Yeah. We've got the redistricting Texas, there's other states that are threatening to redistrict. And Matt and I were talking before the show, and it's like some of these states, they really don't have anywhere else to go. They've already redistricted and disenfranchised every Republican within their borders. So, like, not sure what they're really looking to gain, but they're, by golly, going to threaten to do it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So we've got another story here. I'm torn on this one because I see and understand both sides of it. Is Trump's executive order on burning the flag, that he signed and he signed the EO on it.
So from what I understand with this whole thing, Stu, it's not just, it's in conjunction with another crime, and it's primarily, I think, aimed at illegal aliens on our soil burning American flags. They don't have the same rights.
And I'll be honest, I've not had time to read into everything. I saw this, and my thing is, I don't think it'll hold up in court because of the free speech part of it.
Well,
now, if they're talking about
no, Stu, because you're thinking about it as just burning the flag, like an American citizen going out there and burning the flag.
Right.
They are protected. Yeah. They are protected under the Constitution. If they are in the process of doing other crimes, right, then they're not protected. Or if they're illegal aliens on our soil burning an American flag, they're not protected under the same rules as you and I are.
Now, my question, just as a general question, why are they not arrested for not necessarily the burning of the flag, but of burning anything in an unsafe manner in public in the middle of the street? How's that any different than setting a trash can on fire in protest?
You're right on it, because burning a flag in public is also arson if it's not in a controlled environment. That's arson, right? Or potential arson, right? So no, you're going down the route that they're using for this.
Yeah, because like I said, when I first saw the headline at first, I was like, and again, I'm against it. The burning of the flag is, it bothers me on a personal level, but I understand that it is part of the, freedom of speech and whatever, and you don't have to like it, but that whole spiel. But if they're using it that way and they found a way to utilize it to, go after people that shouldn't be here anyway, hey, any tool in the toolbox. But and the last thing, we've got a few stories here on just illegal shenanigans that we're gonna talk about. We've got a real that I can't even look at that picture. We've got a pretty scary image we're gonna bring up concerning Antifa and one of the attacks that they perpetuated on one of the ICE offices.
Oh, was this the guy with his little pocket knife and the trans dude?
That's a interesting looking individual.
Yeah.
But that's what we have, kind of a smattering of different stories across several different topics.
One of the stories I just wanted to bring up here. Did you see this? It was like this pro wrestler deal, and Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, who's obviously got the IQ of a gnat, right? He's dumb as fuck, right? And they were trying to build up the storyline, and he got hit with a worked beer can right ahead of time, and he like took offense because he's too stupid to realize this is part of the skit. So the guy comes up and says, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I thought you were in on this. I hit you with the worked beer can, and this is to try to create some animosity between us." And then they shook hands on it and said, "Hey," he's like, "No problem, da 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 da." And then I guess he let people online rev him up. So when he went in to do his shtick, he picks the guy up, puts him on his head, and knocks him out. Once he did that, because he almost broke the guy's neck, he jumps on top of the guy, and this guy's a vet too, by the way, and proceeded to hit him 23 times before one of the other wrestlers sprinted from the back to the front and took on this dude. and this dude turned around and punched him in the face. But this
Yeah.
guy, this guy Rajah Jackson is supposed to be an MMA fighter. I know his dad was a good one. His dad's a real piece of work too. But this guy worked him, man. I mean, this guy
Oh,
got
it was bad.
yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm talking about this wrestler was able to really work with this guy. This guy Rajah Jackson has got to just be one of the dumbest people ever. And then he was all huffing and puffing. Well, what was really funny is I heard conflicting stories that they were investigating it right away, and then it took them over a day and a half before they initiated an investigation into Rajah Jackson, right? And that's attempted murder. That dude needs to go away, man. What he did there, if that one wrestler,
insane.
if the other wrestlers were standing around with their thumb up their ass, had that one guy not jumped in that ring and stopped that, he would have killed him for sure. And right now, I guess the guy's lost like half of his teeth. He's got swelling in the brain, the whole night. He's never going to be the same. And,
I mean, you could tell from the time he was slammed, he was out. He was unconscious. From the time he hit the mat, he was unconscious. And he literally mounted and just beat the ever-loving hell of an unconscious person.
And when he slammed him, he almost broke his freaking neck. This is what happens. Well, apparently there's some other guy that has beef with the guy who got slammed and brought this guy in knowing that he could push his buttons to get him going to do what he did. That's the rumor. Okay, allegedly.
Well, I did see where one of the other guys was kind of still continuing to egg it on, after the shaking of hands and all this, and then I guess Rajah was live streaming everything, and everybody in his chat, like you said, was amping him up, revving him up. You gonna let him do that? Gonna let him punk you? You ain't nothing but just talking smack, and he, small minds.
Yeah. Oh my Lord, you're there at a pro wrestler thing that's supposed to be entertainment, and you let people online force you to commit attempted murder, which is what it was. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit, dude. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because it just popped into my head because I was looking at it earlier on.
Yeah, when I first saw that video, I was like, what? At first I thought it was, I don't know. Well, all I saw was a video of him coming out of the crowd, and I'm like, what in the world, precipitated that? And then when I saw and read more on, I'm like, because at first, my understanding was that the guy that got slammed thought Raj was in on the whole thing, and then when he thought it was all, he was all in character, doing the backstage beef and whatnot, and when he realized he wasn't, like you said, he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. I thought, apologize, shake hands, apologize 2 or 3 times.
But he was supposed to be there for that. I just don't think he understands how wrestling works or something. This guy's obviously very, very stupid. Very stupid. Right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not really an argument that anybody's gonna fight you on that one.
Yeah. Exactly, dude. So, what do you want to start with? What story?
Let's start with your redistricting story that you had brought up.
Okay.
What we've got here is that after Texas and California, these states are also considering redistricting. So
basically, what's going on is after this huge fail by the Democrats in Texas. Gavin Newsom in California comes out and starts talking like a tough guy because he's actively running for president right now. This guy destroyed his own state and he's actively running for president. And this is how you talk about stupid. Many of the constituents in California are freaking stupid. Anybody that would
they say, Matt, as goes California, as goes the nation, just give it 5 years. So he's had 5 years to do that there. So now it's time to hook in the rest of the nation.
What does suck is there's a huge population of people who aren't stupid in California that are getting screwed every day because they've already gerrymandered the whole state. It's already been and then they flooded it with the illegals to get what they wanted. I'm talking about the Democrats, right? So so Gavin Newsom comes out, and they have to make a constitutional amendment in order to do this, and uh, in order to move forward, they need to pass a referendum by the citizens. Well, it looks like they're going to force this anyways because the Supreme Court in California, which I'm sure is real legit, right? Okay, is giving it the green light to go through. So Gavin Newsom is playing tough guy, and here's where it's a folly for him. It's all symbolism over substance, because even if he does redistrict their state more than it's already been redistricted, right? Which is going to be absolutely insane. Every Democrat state's already done this.
Yes.
There isn't any juice out of the turnip in these other states. Okay. Now, technically, New York, they've got a constitutional amendment too. And apparently, even if they start acting now, they're not able to do it until 2027 anyways, right? Because they've got to do a referendum and all of that. New York has 7 Republican seats and 19 Democrat seats, right? So, New York is threatening to do this, but it's already been gerrymandered to hell, right? It already has been. And
Yeah.
then you've got states like Massachusetts that isn't saying they're going to do this, right? But I'm just using them as an example. Massachusetts has between 35 and 40% Republicans in their state, and not one representative seat is Republican in the state of Massachusetts.
And that's what kills me. It's like, how can, and they'll take any redistricting that they want to do down in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi has to have federal approval because of our history of whatever. But you've got Massachusetts that can have a 45% Republican constituency, have zero representation for those constituents, and the federal government's like, yeah, nothing to see here, move along.
Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Illinois, which is one of the most egregious examples of redistricting, is talking about they're full of shit, right? but here's what is going to happen. Remember we talked about them stepping on rakes, right? So now in Indiana, Ohio, Missouri, they're all looking at this. Florida, there's 8 Democrat seats in Florida and 20 Republican, and believe me, there's probably not 8 seats that represent the amount of Democrats, because there's hardly any down there in Florida to be anymore, to be honest with you. Okay. There are pockets where there are, but not. So Florida alone could probably flip 4 of those seats legitimately. Right.
Right.
And, they're talking 2 or 3 seats in Ohio, 2 or 3 seats in Indiana, and 2 seats in Missouri. Right. So now they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. And then once this census deal goes through, where illegals aren't included in the census, the Democrats have really stepped in it this time, because they have done this everywhere. Republicans, because generally Republicans are weak and feckless, the Republicans that have been in control traditionally. And now we've got a Republican in control who's not weak and feckless, and we're fighting back. And there's nothing they can do. The cards are all in our hand. They're all in our hands. Doesn't matter how much the media goes out and makes a big deal about California, or Kathy Hochul up in New York, or however you pronounce that witch's name, right? And
Hochul.
Yeah, they're going to fuck around and find out, because it's about to happen, and it can't happen soon enough. Period. Amen. So that's a sort of a summary of that story. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that, Stu?
No, I knew the broad strokes of what we had talked about, that the California was threatening, and it just goes to show you that our betters, our elites, they do not care about the constituents. They do not care about the people. They do not care about representing you. All they care about is power. When they're sitting there and saying, because this state is redistricting, and again, the thing that the media is conveniently leaving out of the 5 districts that Texas is redistricting, 2 of them are primary African American. They leave that part out, and they act like
they're redistricting it. They're redistricting it in the benefit of the African Americans, right?
Yes, yeah. They leave that part out, and everybody gets their panties all twisted up about it. And then you have Gavin Newsom come in and say, well, if they're going to do it to get 2 more, then we're going to redistrict. And it's like, you don't care about representing your people. You care about power, naked wielding of power, and that's it.
Yep.
You're a constituent that wants your voice heard. Screw you, sit down, shut up, and do what we tell you to do. And it shows it right there on its face what the goal is.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. All right. We got any comments on that, Stu?
No, we've got Troy that's joined in. He's watching. He led off with his traditional "Hey dudes." So
hey Troy.
Troy's,
what story you want to get next?
I want to go to DC. I want to talk about I was up in DC not long ago, and I was talking to my boss when I was up there, and I always refer to DC by reaching back to my nerd roots and Star Wars when Obi-Wan first takes Luke to Mos Eisley, and he's like, "You've never seen a more wretched hive of scum and villainy." And I'm like, that's DC, that is it in a nutshell.
I have no idea what you're talking about as far as Star Wars is concerned, but I get what you're saying.
It's all right, Matt. The other people do. I'm
sure.
But so basically, Trump has brought in the National Guard into DC. There's been a story that's been out for the past couple of weeks. We talked about it, where the DC police were cooking the books on crime stats. They were having captains and lieutenants showing up at crime scenes and saying, no, this is going to be reported as that, as an accident, as a this or as the other, to either manipulate it into where it was a crime that wasn't tracked by the FBI, or to reduce it to a lower level of offense that wasn't tracked or monitored. So that's come to light. But with Trump having his people out there, there's the police union was the one that brought this up, but according to Janine Pirro, there have been more than 1,000 arrests since the federalization of Washington D.C. 2 weeks ago. There's been, I think the streak was broken earlier from a story I had seen, but D.C. had gone 12 days without a murder, which was basically unheard of in the district. I think that was broken. I think somebody was shot earlier today, but it just goes to show that what do you know? When you enforce the law and arrest the criminals, they don't criminal. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, the lions don't do lion shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You release some monkey antelopes. Yeah, because there's some really big sheepdogs in town. But I think what's going on is, I think they're prepping, because I think, if we want to get into some conspiracy stuff, I think that the deep state is being destroyed from every angle by the Trump administration. At every angle, they're funding with USAID. That's just one aspect of it. The Fed is going to crumble. The Fed is going to crumble, right? And I think that the reason why they flooded so many illegals in here was for several reasons. A, they could redistrict in the liberal states using illegals as the population base, which should have never ever been allowed. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Why would illegals? And that this large group that you've already seen push back. There's another story in the news about ICE officers getting jumped, I believe in San Francisco, but I digress. I think that when they don't get their way, They want to use this mass of millions of illegals, Antifa, and everybody else funded by these shitbags in the shadowy background, right? I think they want to use them for rioting, right?
Oh yeah,
When they don't get their way to
definitely.
try to tear everything down. So now, if you already have uh, a force that's able to quell the rioting down ahead of time in place, it ain't going to work. It's not going to
Yeah.
work for them. And now these National Guard soldiers are being allowed to walk around armed, right? Which has been unheard of in the past, which is the way it should be, right?
Yeah.
So these
Well,
guys are
with
going to be,
DC, well, DC is a little different than anywhere else because it's federal property. It's not.
yeah, yes, it's a little different than everywhere else,
Yeah.
but there was an establishment, there was precedent set in California earlier this year with
Yeah.
use of the National Guard when shit gets out of control. So would you classify shit in Chicago as being out of control?
Well, I mean, there's only how
Yes.
many people murdered every day? 12, 14, or
Yeah.
15?
It's one of the deadliest cities in the world, and it's in the
Yeah.
United States, right? So I would classify that as out of control. And now you have that mayor there, Brandon Johnson, right, telling people to fight if Trump brings in federal agents and whatnot to basically stand up against them, right?
Now,
You have
what
a
was the
mayor
story?
of
What was
one
the
of the
story
biggest
you were
cities in the
saying
world.
where this judge had released
Yes.
somebody?
So we have you. There's an article there. Do you have the article?
Which one was it?
It was
Oh wait, I got it. Yeah,
the,
I got it here.
yeah,
I've got it.
yeah. So yeah, this leads right into this. So while we're making strides in fixing Washington D.C., and here's the other thing that we haven't even talked about is the citizens of Washington D.C. are ecstatic. They're
Yes.
ecstatic. No matter how much the media or the left bitches, they're ecstatic that they can feel safe going to the train station, going to the grocery store, just going outside, seeing the monuments. They feel safe. They are through the roof happy. And guess what? Most people want to be safe. Most people that are in these urban shitholes, you have people running around in Chicago right now wearing MAGA hats in inner city Chicago, right? These are longtime leftist Democrats, right? These people, everybody has a right. Everybody innocent has a right to be safe, right? And that is the government's number one priority, to protect our borders and to keep this country safe, right? And it's Chicago and the situation it's in right now, and all of these bigs, not just Chicago, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, all of these major, Boston, major cities, right, are all hellholes. They're absolutely Democrat run hellholes, and they're out of control. And now you're going to see just you're starting to see the wrapper getting pulled back from Washington D.C. with the cooked crime stats and everything else. I will make a prediction. You're going to see this across the country, just like you're seeing all of these Democrats get wrapped up in this mortgage fraud bullshit. It seems to be
Yeah.
a racket that they're all in on. I guarantee you, this shit doesn't live in a vacuum. I guarantee you,
No.
once they start pulling the layers of the onion back, you are going to see that these stats were cooked everywhere. And no matter how bad Philadelphia or Chicago is right now, it's worse. It
Yeah,
is
the truth,
worse.
no matter how bad it is that they're reporting, the truth
Uh-huh.
is worse. But here you go, Matt. This is another story, just to show you how out of touch they are. Here's this right here. A speaker at the DNC summer meeting tells Democrats that carjackings don't matter to many Americans.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
This is
Here, have my car. Yeah.
this, and again, outside of your home, a person's vehicle is one of the
Your
most
sanctuary. Yeah,
well,
it's your sanctuary.
it's one of the most expensive things you're going to own. And without your car, how do you get to work? How do you get your children to school? How do you get to the grocery store? How do you do anything? And they're saying, yeah, people don't care about someone threatening your life to take the thing
Your
that
car.
you depend on to earn your living and feed your family. They
exactly.
don't think people care about that.
Yeah, because you don't need a car. In the 15-minute cities, you will not own a car, right?
But
Because
I
you can
saw
get
that
everywhere in
story right
15
there,
minutes on
and
your little
my
bicycle.
eyes rolled so hard I almost hurt myself.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up there. But getting back to this judge, this leftist judge in Washington D.C. Okay, I think she was an Obama appointed judge.
Biden.
Uh, she looks like twin. Oh, Biden. She looks like a twin sister to Ketanji Brown Jackson, right?
Jumanji
Um,
Brown Jackson.
yeah, she looks like a twin sister to her, and she's obviously shares the same politics. Um, because I saw a video on this too, and I thought it was Brown Jackson. But I'm like, boy, oh boy, these leftists. You know how when you're looking at that Cracker Barrel CEO, and she's got those same glasses, Keith Oberman and Rosie O'Donnell and Rachel Madcow all wear. It's like there's something, I don't know what it is, but
There's
and,
some playbook or some
yeah,
crap. What do they call the people that are telling them what plays well?
a consultant. There's
Consultant telling them
consultants. Yes.
these
Yeah,
glasses
because
make you look smart.
well, this judge wears her hair the same way as Ketanji Brown Jackson, right? I keep on screwing her name up, and it just it I there is, you're right. There's a consultant somewhere that is, here's how you do this, here's how you talk. Where they use this thumb thing that Obama
Yeah.
and Clinton used to do, and then you saw
Yep.
Kamala Harris doing it, right? And anyways, uh, so you remember a story a few weeks back where a woman was being carjacked, and uh, a Doge employee that was very famous named Big Balls, right? This whiz
He
kid.
lived up to his name.
Yep. He ran in to try to save this woman and actually did, but the kids that were carjacking this car all ganged up on him and beat the living shit out of him. I
The
mean, put him in
youths.
the
The
hospital.
youths.
Yeah, the youths, right? This judge just released all of them. She just released all of them.
Yeah.
With a wave of her gavel, released all of. She needs to be investigated and removed from the frickin' bench. I mean, this is just.
Yeah,
It's
this
disgusting.
wasn't we're ripping off Walgreens because we can steal up to $900 and we stole $904. No,
Yeah.
they attempted a violent carjacking, which attempted violent grand theft auto, and then basically attempted, manslaughter, attempted murder by curb stomping. It's like these aren't, these aren't minor offenses. This is heavy shit. These are things people rightfully should go away for an extended period. And she's like, they're good. They're just misdirected youths. We need more.
Yeah.
We need more basketball courts and more after school programs.
Misdirected youths, exactly. They've already killed people. These teenagers in Washington D.C. have killed people trying to carjack them on several occasions, right? So, what's this judge's name? I can't read, obviously, because I'm sitting here in a
Let me see what it's got. So I'm just trying to skim here and find it. Actually, you would think it would be. Nope. Wow, you would think it would have her name at the top, but
I think it's the second paragraph in that has her name.
Here we go. Superior Court Judge Kendra Biggs.
Yeah, Kendra Biggs. I knew it began with
B. A 15-year-old boy and girl from Maryland were being held at the DC's Youth Services Center, but have been removed to a youth shelter and his mother, respectively. Not his father, his mother.
Oh, there's no father. There's no father.
I'm just saying. That's a mighty bold assumption, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, allegedly. So
allegedly.
So yeah, that's no matter what we're doing to try to clean up, the left is hell bent on destroying.
Yeah, they're actively sabotaging efforts to clean up crime. I mean, this is a judge. Her job is part of the justice system to remove criminals from polite society, and she's like, nah. I mean, it's
but oh boy, I bet you if a January 6th came in front of her,
under the
they'd be
jail.
rotting in jail for the rest of their lives. You know?
Well, we got a couple of comments. Freedom, when we were talking about Chicago, Freedom had posted up that the Chicago mayor has a 6% approval rating.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you, they need to clean up elections. There's no way that guy got elected legitimately. Absolutely no way, no how. There's no freaking way. This idiot, and he's a school teacher too, by the way. Another one of these school teachers, right? So yeah,
no
there's
wonder
no
our
way
kids
that
are
guy.
having such a hard time.
Oh yeah, these little Marxist activists is what these teachers are, and it's a cult. You have to be in it. If you don't toe their line, they'll set you up or whatever they can in the schools to get you basically booted. You lose your
Yeah.
retirement and everything else. Yeah.
And Freedom said the conspiracy theorist in him believes that Trump signed an emergency action document quite a while ago and it's playing out now. And that could be true.
I think he's right on to something hardcore with that. I really believe that is the case. So all of this is playing. The Trump administration are miles ahead of these people at every angle. At every angle, it's like they're predicting what they're going to do, and then they're responding after that because they
the
knew
thing
that
is, Matt, it's supremely frustrating how the Republicans as a whole are continually outmaneuvered by the Democrats when they really only have like 2 to 3 responses to anything. It's racist, it's sexist, or you're a Nazi. That's
exactly.
the Democrats' only response to anything. Republicans are flat-footed every damn time with it.
You just reminded me of something right now because Congress is not in session, right? So Trump could make recess appointments with the exception that Chuck Grassley has Republicans going in there and holding 2-minute quorums every day. So Trump can't get his judges selected. He can't make those decisions while this is all going on. So Chuck Grassley is another one of these deep state pieces of shit. He's not on our side. I'm telling you, these Republicans in the Senate are not on our side. And John Thune is a real pile of work.
That news like that would be on more, somebody would be reporting it. But it's just, it's like being intentionally, suppressed that this is the reason nothing's getting done. I mean,
Alina Habba is removed by a series of judges, and then all Trump would have to do is basically jam it through while they're in recess. And what's preventing that is the Republicans doing the Democrats' work. It's called this blue slip deal. So all they have to do, it's not anywhere written in the Constitution. This is a courtesy, and I think this is going to end up going to court, and they're going to get stomped over. But just know.
And again, I'm sorry when you're intentionally subverting the will of the people. Courtesy is time to check courtesy at the door.
These are Republicans doing it. Chuck Grassley needs to go. He needs to go. And I'll tell you what, this guy, John Thune, I know Trump is trying to play nice with all of them. He is Mitch McConnell in different clothing. Okay, that's what he is, in sheep's clothing. That's what he is. He is not for America first. He is a bought and paid for stooge. That's what he is. And unfortunately, we got a bunch of shitbags in the Senate and in the House. So they're the problem. You can say Democrats all you want. They're the problem. The Democrats wouldn't be getting this shit done if it wasn't for them.
And that's the thing, and you hit the nail right on the head. We know the Democrats are the problem. It's our own party that is preventing the president to, preventing him from enacting the policies the reason we voted for him was to enact these policies, and our own party is preventing it.
Yeah. Trump can't get his appointees through. This is like unheard of. He cannot get his appointees through. And this is how the deep state stays in power. And the Republicans are doing it. The Republicans.
And again, I'm sorry, there should be, and I like you said, there's, with the oversight and consent of the Congress, whatever. But when they refuse to do their job, then you've lost the ability to appeal to the consent portion. You're refusing to do your job. Either vote them up or vote them down. But to refuse to even hold the process. So no, we're done.
Over some courtesy that the Democrats wouldn't give you. The same courtesy that Democrats wouldn't give you. It's so
not
much
even
bullshit.
A little bit.
Yeah, and here's what we ought to do. We ought to start a movement, right? We ought to start a movement, and it should be called the Primary Fund, right? And you need to pick about 5 of these guys and generate money and support whoever. They put up an orange juice can for the Republicans against Chuck Grassley. You run it against them, right? We need to send a message to these shitbirds that they no longer belong there. They don't represent us. They don't represent America first, which is what the vast majority of the country wants, right? They're supporting they're bought and paid for by their masters, whether that be the military industrial complex, whether that be big pharma, whether that be big food, whatever it is, they're bought and paid for. So these shitbags need to be held to account. And Chuck Grassley, because he does some good things here and some good things there, he is a shitbag. He is actively blocking President Trump's judicial appointments, actively doing it, holding 2-minute quorums every day. So they can't say that they're in recess.
They're in recess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
bullshit.
We've got a couple more to get to, and one of them that I wanted to talk about is this Lisa Cook, part of the Federal Reserve, that Trump is looking at or has fired. And of course, she's refusing to step down. It's like, well, I'm sorry, you've been fired. You don't have a choice in the matter. It wasn't a question; it was a statement.
This Fed needs to be done away with ASAP.
But this lady right here is the one that seems to be engaging in the new Democrat pastime of mortgage fraud. She was appointed by Biden in 2022. She was recently accused by Federal Housing Finance Agency of committing mortgage fraud by listing 2 primary residences. In his initial allegations, he included photographs of document signatures apparently belonging to Cook that allegedly applied to 2 different primary residences, one in Michigan and another described as an Atlanta condo. Now, we had talked about this before, and the big thing with these primary residences is twofold. One is it has to do with what mortgage rates you qualify for. So they wanted to they prosecuted Trump in New York for this bullshit here. That's exactly what they're doing. They're lying about where they're living to get better mortgage rates. Right. So
and then
that's what they're doing.
$500 million judgment against them. What a I mean, nuts. That got thrown out this week.
This is what they're doing. They're lying about their residences because they have one house here and have another home somewhere else, and don't want to pay, instead of paying 4% on one and 6 or 7% for another, they want the 4% across the board. So they just lie about it. And Matt and I were talking too, because the other thing that's happened is this whole thing with SCIF has been busted doing the same thing. And the thing with SCIF is he's a congressman out of California, which means his primary residence needs to be California. Well, the issue is his quote unquote primary residence in California is a 650 square foot condo.
It's a broom
closet. Residence in Maryland is a 3,400 square foot mansion, and his kids are registered and go to school in Maryland. So you tell me which one of those is his primary residence. And we looked it up because Matt and I were talking about this beforehand. The place he has in Burbank, California, the condo is 650 square feet. Okay. we did some quick looking, just finding some average numbers. The average 1-bedroom apartment, and this is since 2008, has grown from 790 square foot to 757. His is 100 square foot smaller. And this is his primary residence with him, his wife, his children. This is a 1-bedroom. So his primary residence, what he's telling his constituents, what he's telling all of America, is that no, my primary residence, where I spend the majority of my time, where I live, where my roots are, is a 650 square foot apartment that me, my wife, and my children live in. I just work in DC. But he's got a 3,400 square foot mansion, and his kids are registered and go to school in DC.
You know, it's funny. We're talking about this son of a bitch, and we all know he is the bottom. He is the bottom of the barrel, right? And he doesn't seem to be particularly intelligent on top of everything else, right? I mean, the guy, some of the stuff that he has pulled is just, I mean, this being one of them, just it's too stupid to be stupid, right? It could be arrogance, not stupidity, but some of the lies he's told that he knew he wasn't going to get away with and still did it anyways. Could you blame that on arrogance or stupidity? Who knows? But
well, I think it's I think he doesn't care because there's no accountability.
And here's where I was trying to get to the point. I saw a special on him, and for some reason, the reason why he really hates Donald Trump is because apparently, allegedly, there was a deal with Hillary Clinton and everything else that if she got elected in 2016, she was going to make him the head of the CIA. Adam Schiff.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Holy crap.
I couldn't even believe that when I heard it. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And apparently there is a lot of smoke around that whole thing, right?
Dude.
What's his?
I think that would have been worse for the country than Hillary Clinton being elected president.
Well, can you do a quick search on his background? Where did Adam Schiff come from and what did he do? Okay. Because, you know, I would have to say, no, he wasn't an intelligence officer, but you know what? He kind of fits the mold of exactly what we have now, especially, you know, post-Clinton, Obama, and all of that. What was his background?
He was, let me see.
Just an attorney, right?
Yeah, he was an attorney. That's it. He was an attorney for the district court. He did some little prosecution deal, and in '94 he was a candidate for the California Assembly, and kind of went up through there.
I mean,
through the California Assembly into
this guy rose to senator. He rose to senator, and he is one of the most. If you would have looked at this guy at any stage in his life, I guarantee you, people would say he is one of the most unimpressive people you'd ever come across, right? Yet, in that party, they fail upwards. You know, they fail upwards, and he's a current senator for the largest state in the country, and it's just absolutely insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
we've got to fix it.
It does. It legitimately just boggles the mind that. I mean, look at any of the people that the Democrats choose to represent them. I mean, look at who was it out of California that barely stringed 3 words together? She always wore the big ass stupid hats.
Well, Maxine Waters. Waters.
Well, no, Maxine Waters is one. There was another one I thought.
You're thinking of Frederica Wilson. She came from Florida, dude. She was a congresswoman from Florida. She wore the big cowboy hat.
Just take your pick. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
And I mean, granted, we've got, you know, Donald Trump, reality TV, all that stuff, but these people are that. There's nothing else to them. They're, you know, they're so freaking shallow. There's nothing to them but the pomp and circumstance, the bullshittery of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that they apparently they fool enough people into voting for them that they keep getting reelected, and I think that's the saddest thing.
Yeah, it is the saddest thing. Um, it's just one of these things that I just couldn't believe it when I heard it, but then I could, and I'm like, that's how the Democrats do it. Everything is a payoff. You do this, I'll give you that. What business does he have being the head of the CIA? What business? None.
Oh my
Half of
God.
these guys that they put at the head of the FBI, Democrats, you take your pick, right? What business do they have being they don't know anything about law enforcement, right? This is what their political appointees, they do
Yeah.
favors. Their families done favors. Their families were big donors. This is the Democrat modus operandi, right? So, and I guess if you're there trying to destroy everything, what does it matter who you put into these positions, right? Provided it's a means to an end for you, you get the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're killing two birds with one stone. You're destroying and you're pacifying your money grift. So
Now,
yeah,
a couple of the other stories we have here is really the some of the ones concerning the illegal immigrants and kind of a mishmash of stories we've been covering. I guess updates, for lack of a better word. We've got the Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man, is
Maryland
back
man.
in the news, and
they keep releasing them.
They
keep releasing them. Yeah,
they're looking to deport him to Uganda, and his attorney comes up saying it's preposterous they would send him to Africa, a country where he doesn't even speak the language. And the funny thing is, Uganda is a former colony of Great Britain. The official language there is English. So we're saying he doesn't speak English? Then if that's a problem, then he shouldn't be here either because he doesn't speak the language. So I'm failing to see the veracity of your argument there, counselor.
Yeah. These judges keep releasing them. They keep releasing them back in, and now more and more comes out about this guy. You know, not originally it was, he was trafficking workers. Okay, well then it turns out that he may have been trafficking more than just workers. If you're following my drift, allegedly.
Yeah,
right?
some of the juvenile variety.
Then it comes out that he's beaten the shit out of his wife on multiple occasions. Right.
Yeah,
but he's the Maryland father. Right.
But these are the ones that the Democrats will preach for and will hold a revival and fundraising and everything else.
For. That's who they're concerned about, not their real constituents paying their salary. They're worried about this guy, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
That tells you everything you need to know. That tells you everything you need. They were replacing you. That's why they flooded this country. We've got to have 40 million illegals in this country. And I'm going to stand by that number, right? And that's their constituency. That is their constituency. Now, I don't know what the numbers are as far as people deporting themselves, right? So, once this realizes that it's futile for them to fight in this and that with ICE, right? Because Trump is going to win that fight. Okay, the midterms are the big hiccup there, and the only reason we could lose the midterms is because of dipshits in the Republican Party like Chuck Grassley. Okay.
Yep.
And once the midterms are passed, I think you're going to see a mass exodus in this country because they're going to block all of their benefits. They're not going to be able to work. Any company that hires them is going to get smacked if they don't have some sort of work visa program. All right.
And they should.
The agricultural industry is going to. Yep. And there will be no benefit for them to be here to collect your hard-earned taxpayer dollars. There will be no benefit for them to be here. So, we're getting the worst.
See, I would even be, and again, it would not be as much of a slap in the face if it were people coming here illegally and working. The part of it is when they're coming here illegally and they're getting taxpayer benefits.
It's a slap in the face when they're working too, though, Stu,
No,
because
I know, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be as much.
Yeah, but it is, because they're screwing the middle class on their wages. They're stealing from Americans, even by
Yeah.
doing that, you know? So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying on it. You know, not just coming over here with their hands out for the gimme dats.
Right. Not just come, if they were legitimately coming over here and working, that's a different class of person than someone that's coming over here to sit on their couch and eat Doritos and watch Cartoon Network.
At the same time, while you can appreciate that, put in to come here legally. If you're the type of person who believes you're going to come here and work hard, then we want you, right? Put in to come here legally. Don't break our laws. Don't go and work for some fly-by-night, cash under the table deal where you're destroying whole industries. So then the Democrats and the propagandist media can push out there, these are jobs that Americans just won't do. Well, no, they won't do them after they've been destroyed. So nobody can make a decent wage doing that job.
Yeah, they won't do them for $8 an hour because they're not going to live in a flop house with 32 other dudes.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes you could. That's another T-shirt right there. I refuse to live in a flop house with 30 other dudes.
But
perfect.
One of the other stories we have here, you know, again, back to the illegal immigrants that Trump wants to get out. And I'm sure, you know, some of these guys were just turning their lives around, and we'll have some politicians running out to politic for them soon too.
Well, they were getting ready to go to law school and shit.
Yeah, three Honduran illegal immigrants arrested for fentanyl drug trafficking in Portland. You know, these guys are 18, 27, and 34. And
get them the hell out of our country.
Right. This is what we don't need. Troy said he'll take that shirt in a large, please.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I refuse to live in a flop house with 30 other dudes.
But now
making $8 an hour.
Yeah. Now the last story here that we're going to talk about is back several weeks ago. There was this protest going on in an ICE facility, and this individual had basically like some sort of long-bladed weapon, machete, long-bladed knife, something. Machete. Threw it at an ICE officer, narrowly missing hitting him in the face with it, and then was grabbing for another bladed weapon when they were taken down. And I'm using they for a reason.
They, them.
But these here are the two weapons. So blades over a foot long on the weapons that were used. But the reason I'm using they is because I'm not sure. Because I'm going to go out on a limb and say the picture on the left is making liberal use of filters, because that is the individual. That's a dude that insists they are not a dude.
They, them needs to be stuffed into a federal pound me in the ass prison is what they, them need to do. Need to go to.
So the orientation aside, you can't look at this individual here and tell me there is not mental issue at play.
What's the individual's name? What's the individual's name?
Winters, what is it? Let me see here. Julie Michaela Winters, formerly known as Christopher Hudson.
Okay, there's another dude. He's an illegal alien who is also identifies as trans, who attacked this past week ICE officers with a little pocket knife, right? After he slashed their tires, right?
Well, this one was the one after this individual threw the knife at the officer and then was reaching for another one, was released. Yeah. And has just been this story is them being rearrested after breaking the terms of that release by going back to the ICE facility.
Surprise.
Not really. No. Not really. Not even a little bit.
Exactly.
Kind of actually expected it.
Can you hear the sarcasm dripping off my voice, Stu?
A little bit. It's coming through a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it is crazy.
Yeah, and have any comments? Freedom's got a point here. I meant to tell you that more than, and again, this has to be botted. It's either botted or it's it's India mobilizing. More than 2.5 million people have signed a petition asking for leniency for the truck driver in the Florida crash.
You've got to be kidding me.
It's either bots or it's just India bot farms. It is absolutely in no way legitimate.
When they put 2.5 million signatures, then our side should come up with 30 million signatures and say no lenience. I mean, this guy just killed a freaking family.
Yeah,
Gavin Newsom. I would say maybe lenience on him. He's just going to get booted out of this country. Gavin Newsom is going to pay for this crime. That's who's responsible for this.
Gavin, every individual in the chain that approved that CDL should be
sued into oblivion. I don't think legally they can, but there needs to be some rule that allows when somebody does something so heinous as just to hand out CDLs where people are going to be driving around 65,000 pound vehicles on the highways without really pass anything.
How is that not gross negligence in the performance of your duties?
It is absolutely.
And in that gross negligence, you were directly responsible for someone dying.
Exactly. An innocent family dead. Way to go.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't care. And nobody in the media is putting that on him. I mean, few are, but I'm talking about mainstream media.
Again,
he's right on him. And that governor out of Washington State. That disaster.
Which what happened there? What is that?
Well, Washington. Now there's some talk of was his CDL issued in either California or Washington State, because they were also issuing CDLs to illegals.
Again, and these are the things that drive me crazy. It's like, why is there a question about that? It's, you have the license. What does it say?
Yeah.
But
and then this guy was pulled over in New Mexico, and he was supposed to be given an English competency test, right? And somebody told that I would hazard a guess that this individual was directed, this state trooper, to not do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't do a damn thing. A lot of these cops' hands are tied. They can't do a damn thing when they pull over illegals with a foreign driver's license or anything. You can't do a damn thing. So, yeah. So with that, do we have any more comments we need to get to, Stu?
Let's see. Well, Freedom had a point a little bit earlier. He said that he had read in the past week that the SCIF genealogy goes way back and it is corrupt. I'm not sure what he has in past family members and whatnot. But
they're all just doing the research into Barack Obama's grandfather, Dunham, right? Just do a Wikipedia search. We've said this before. I think his name Frank Dunham or Harry Dunham. It's one of those, right?
Yeah.
Barack Obama's grandfather. Go look at who he's related to. It'll blow your freaking mind. It's right on Wikipedia. So I mean, they're
the George Carlin all over again. One big club and you ain't in it.
It's with Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is involved with Nancy Pelosi. She's her, and I think that family.
Yeah,
I think
he her nephew or
don't quote me on
something.
this. I think it's the Getty Oil family is what I think it is. You know?
Isn't he her nephew or something like that? Isn't that
Yes,
what it
yes,
is?
he is her nephew.
Yeah,
But I think the Gavin Newsom side of the family, right? I think don't quote. I mean, this is I
allegedly.
don't know
That's the
this
word
for
you have to
sure.
use.
Allegedly, yes. I think it's the Getty Oil family is what I think it is. So I mean that tells you everything you need to know. These heirs and heiresses of these multi-billion-dollar companies, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, again, our betters know what they're doing. Apparently, we just need to shut up and color.
you can just take it, just like they're doing. Did you see this story in England where this 14-year-old girl defended her 12-year-old sister from a group of
Yeah,
like
it was in
5
Scotland. It
migrants?
was Scotland.
Yeah, and they arrest the 14-year-old girl.
Yeah. Yep.
Insane. That Great Britain is gone. It's gone. It is
Dude,
gone.
it is so toast.
Yeah. So I mean,
Now, I'll tell you, Matt and I were talking the other day, and there's a podcast called Triggernometry, and they do long form interviews with people. And one of them that they've done, and I don't even know if I can say his name on YouTube, so I won't.
yeah.
But go look at some of the interviews they've done in the past month, and one of them will be a familiar name. He has been the face of the fight in Britain for the past decade, and just listen to it to him. They do phenomenal interviews. They're great. They're two British dudes, so you gotta take them at it with a grain of salt with some stuff, but. It's
Exactly.
like Matt said, it's lost. It is a lost cause. It is a failed state at this point.
Which is sad. Europe is losing its identity, and that was the design. Flood the country with immigrants, and then force the people. Well, first of all, disarm the people, flood it with immigrants, let the immigrants run amok, defend the immigrants. Right? If anybody says anything about the immigrants, you arrest them. That's
pretty much what's happened.
Stuff as many immigrants in there as you can to where they become the politicians, right? And
well, I think they were saying
all of these cities in Great Britain, Muslim, yeah.
Well, I think every major city in England is governed by a Muslim mayor.
It's insane. If not, it's quite a few of them, and it's absolutely insane.
It's a good number.
The people have given their country away. You've given up and you've lost your country. Congratulations. You've played yourself. Who said that?
DJ Khalid. Congratulations.
Yeah, you've played yourself.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Hey,
we appreciate
you for joining us. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you taking part. We appreciate you dropping knowledge on us. And we also appreciate you for being a patriot. Live in freedom every day. We will see you next week at the same time back here to have another discussion. Thanks, guys.
All right. See you guys next week. Thanks for joining.